Hello ladies and gentlemen of the internet world, Beau here. I am just getting ready to head off on a really nice woods walk for today. It's not going to be a woods walk gun talk, but it will be a walk, and don't really have anything new to discuss about firearms and laws and stuff. Everything's pretty much been settled. I do have some stuff on politics in Augusta that I might touch on and mention, but I just wanted to make an intro video to let you know that we're gonna have a good walk through some woods, and I really hope you enjoy these videos when I make them. I hope so anyway. And so as far as the channel goes, we have some gun stuff that's going to be coming up because my brother is going to be coming back from North Carolina. He'll be flying in this week, and we might have to dodge some raindrops this week and this weekend, but we'll work something out, and we'll get some nice video shooting various things. And I also wanted to shoot a video at home of different kinds of ammunition. Have a brief discussion, but nothing groundbreaking. It's nothing that a million YouTube channels haven't covered already. So there's a lot of filler and stuff like that that I have not been recording for those reasons. Pretty much everything gets covered on YouTube as far as firearms go, which you know. So anyway, I just wanted to make this intro and let you know that everything's fine with the channel. I have been uploading more walks lately, because I've been walking a lot, 35 to 40 miles a week now, and really happy where my weight has gone, which it's gone. So I feel really good and healthy, and I highly recommend it, especially if you're over 50 like I am, to stay healthy and stay fit. It's important, and eat well. So anyway, let's continue on, and we're going to head off for this walk, which I will magically edit right after I'm done talking. But I just wanted to thank you for watching the channel very, very much. It's so much appreciated. There's so many good people that leave good comments. And don't be afraid to share the gun channel content on different places. And I'm sure people will do what they usually do online. They'll criticize things. That's just what people do. But either way, thank you very much. I have 1.75 thousand, so 1 3/4 thousand subscribers now. Very happy about that. Thank you kindly for doing that, and enjoy the day. It's Mother's Day today. My mother died in the 1990s. She died young, so but if this is a really important day for you, I'll be thinking of my mom today. And God bless everybody and all you mothers out there. Bye-bye. I have you guys mounted right to my chest, underneath my chin, so you should hear me okay. It's probably how I'm going to have this for the rest of summer, with this clip that goes on the collar of the shirt. Or I will be wearing a harness that goes around me, because I don't want to have stuff on my head when it's hot. So we are going to go for a little walk. Some of it will be through woods. I didn't walk yesterday. So the difference with this is when I turn my head to look at something, you're not going to see what I'm looking at. So I got to get used to doing that. I'll have to turn my body. But you will be able to see where I'm walking with a point of view. So if we were going to shoot, be a point of view like that. This might actually be a good camera to wear when shooting pistols with one hand. I should try that out too. So, as explained in the intro, there will be some video coming up at the range. We've got 308 to shoot from the AR-10. We got quite a few hundred rounds of 38 special. We also got some 9mm 22s. Probably have some other surprises. So if you haven't seen it yet, I uploaded a two-part video because it was 2 hours long. Went to Mount Appetite Park finally. Not appetite like hungry, but appetite, A-P-A-T-I-T-E. That's the name of it. In Auburn, Maine. It was much too long to explore everything in one day, so I'll have to go back. But I hope you did enjoy the mines and the quarry. Well, people go there and they mine quartz. A lot of quartz there. So you can find all kinds of things in quartz. I did pick up a nice paperweight that I brought home with me. Nice chunk of quartz that's flat on one side, so you sit it there like a paperweight and it actually stands up kind of straight like an iceberg. So it's pretty cool. I'm glad I snagged that. I scrubbed it when I got home. I got a little rock inside my shoe. Damn, I hate that. I'm gonna have to take care of that. But I won't bore you with that. I'll stop recording and then I'll fix my damn rock. All right, we're recording again. Get that all fixed. Head up this way and find my entrance way. I don't think I'll take the Woods Walk Gun Talk entrance. I think I will take the regular walk entrance. If that makes any sense. So I've been reading on the internet about people in Maine already picking ticks off themselves. I guess there's a bumper crop of them this year because of all the rain we had last year. I think that's tied in together somehow. So I'm not going to spend too much time inside Thorn Craig Bird Sanctuary today. A little bit. I just want to get my 5 miles in. Oh, scared a duck. Did you see that? There he goes. I scared the damn duck. Sorry, duck. I didn't mean to. So, the weather is going to be kind of wonky this week in Maine. Sometimes it is in the spring. It's going to be about 60 degrees every day. We did have lows of 31 last night. A frost. We actually had a frost, if you can believe that. Mid-May. So anyway, the Northern Lights, Aurora Borealis, the great geomagnetic storm, the magnetic geostorm, or geomagnetic storm, whatever you want to call it. Probably not a once in a lifetime. The last time it happened was 2005. And I remember years ago in the late 80s, looking out our skylight where we were living then as kids, and saw a spectacular Northern Lights display up in the sky late at night. It was crystal clear, and a shooting star went through the middle of it. It looked really cool. I'll always remember that. And so we'll see that again, but I guess there was 2 or 3, multiple actually. I think they said 5 or 6 kind of like solar flares kind of shot off. And that might explain why when I was walking in the woods in Mount Appetite Park, that my GPS was all messed up. It was putting me like 50 feet off to the side where I was. And I know that's one of the side effects from the Earth's magnetic field getting messed with. And we could very well have storms like that again. In fact, we did once. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when we will have what we had in the 1800s. We didn't have the same technology we have now. So it screwed up the entire telegraph system, because that's about the only electronic service there was at the time, because people were still using gas lighting, didn't have electricity in their homes yet, and they had to replace the entire telegraph system, the components to it, because they got an EMP kind of a pulse from the sun. A really bad solar flare that if that happened today, it would be catastrophic. It would permanently mess up things that are electronic. Not sure what they would do to fix that, but the Obama administration and the Trump administration both tried to get funding to make sure we had a backup, a national backup. I guess they did some work on that for essential services like internet and stuff like that. Because I know in the event of a national emergency, the government will take over if martial law is declared, which negates the Constitution. It'll just be gone. because of a national emergency where we need to protect ourselves as a country. And unfortunately, we'll have to trust the government, which we know what that means. So there is some kind of system. But if you have something like that, everybody's, and there'll be no escaping it. So your cell phone's not going to work. Your car's not going to start. Nothing electrical is going to work. Which is scary to think about, but you can look this up. It's happened before. It's like this big mega storm. So I don't have a solution for that other than stock up on ammo. Common sense, right? So anyway, we had the Aurora Borealis. Northern Maine and Southern Maine had a great show. I took a few pictures in the backyard that were kind of okay. They were a little dim. They weren't as spectacular as everybody else's. I had to use my night camera setting, which was all right. Whew, the bugs are waking up. Oh yeah, I'm already getting attacked by mosquitoes. You stay in place in one spot and you will get attacked. So we'll keep moving. So anyways, hopefully you got a chance to see these beautiful northern lights. And like I said, I saw them. But from where I saw them here, I've actually seen better ones here in the wintertime when the air is crystal clear. So it's not like it was the last chance for me to see them, and I'll never see them again, because I will. I'm in Maine. It's actually kind of common. But it was interesting to see a couple of people online that I know that they moved to Idaho from California. And this was the first time they ever saw them. And they got a good show. They were very excited. Whew. These tall trees. Well, I've been doing some research on trees. And these big conifers, like this one, is a really old one. Some of them live up to 200 years. And they tend to withstand the storms better. And they said their nature designed these trees and different species of conifers because if you have a forest fire, these bigger, older trees have a tendency to survive forest fires. And what do pine trees do? They make pine cones, and they replace all the trees that burned. Hi, how are you? Well, that person didn't want to be on video. I wonder what he's wanted for. So, as you can see, since the last time we've been here, we got a lot more leaves coming in, which is nice. Looks like they've been doing a little work over here, cleaning up. I got a nice bench. So this is fun. Now I was watching something yesterday. It took me by surprise. I just hit 1 mile, according to the lady in my ear. Sorry about that. I watched Trump's rally yesterday in New Jersey, Wildwood. Could not believe the size of the crowd. It's going to be one of his biggest ones. And of course, the left is melting down this week. Big time, or as Trump would say, big league. Big league meltdown. Not because of his crowd size, but because he's further ahead than he has been yet since being Trump in polling and everything else. And they can't seem to get this legal stuff to stick. And they are getting angry. The left is melting. It's unbelievable how upset they are today. I watched a handful of videos. One with Bill Maher, who's saying that they had a chance to get rid of Trump and they blew it, he said. And, you know, they're upset that they can't get anything to stick without realizing maybe these people are just people that ran for office saying that they were going to convict them of something, anything. They'll find a crime. They'll just go out looking and find something to charge him with. Well, that's why nothing is sticking. You had that idiot Stormy Daniels this week. Bill Maher actually played a video of her on his show saying that nothing inappropriate happened between her and Trump. He didn't assault her. He didn't coerce her. That was her words. She said it exactly like that. So that's obviously not going to work. The documents case is gone for all intent and purposes. This place looks so much different when leaves are coming in. So they are going to have to go back to the drawing board. And Trump's not going anywhere. The documents case is off indefinitely. Bill Maher was blaming the judge instead of Jack Smith, who got caught tampering with evidence. And the Georgia case, that's done. It's like nothing's going to come of that before the election, I should say. So that's a done deal. Bill Maher is upset, but he should be upset that Fani Willis is another district attorney who ran "I'm going to get Trump." Whether he did anything wrong or not, I'll find a crime. And they're reaching for stuff that isn't a crime. It's not a crime to argue the election. I did it. Everybody else did. And they also had what they did scrutinized by attorneys and legal experts before they did it. The phone call with Georgia, find me these 11,000 votes. That's not, make up 11,000 votes so I can win. That's find the votes that are fraudulent, because we know there are some. Verify signatures. Get rid of the bad votes and I'll win because I know we won. That's all he said. It's not illegal. Plus, he was president of the United States, sitting president. That should be his executive duty to ensure the elections are fair. So there shouldn't be any charges there at all, and it shouldn't be any surprise that none of this is going anywhere. So we're going to walk down this way. And the reason why I'm doing this is I want to circle back. I want to have a little bit of a walk in here, but I don't want to spend all day in here because I just had a woods walk day before yesterday. Pretty long one, actually. That came out to be about 6 miles. So anyways, this is where I just came in. I did a circle. So now we're going to head back up. I'm going to head down the White Trail. So anyway, they're melting down big time. I saw James Carville. I saw a video with him. Holy cow, he was losing it. He was losing it. He's further ahead than he's been yet, he said. I don't understand this effing bullshit, he said. Yeah, well, you made a folk hero out of him. A martyr. The people don't believe January 6th happened. They don't believe these charges against Trump are legit. It's all political. And your BS is coming home to roost. It's officially blowing up in their faces, folks. So they all thought this was going to end him. And like James Carville said, we're just throwing spaghetti on the wall to see what sticks. And it ain't sticking. He's more popular now than ever. Well, that's your fault. Then you see people on CNN talking about classified documents. Biden had classified documents in at least 2 locations. And he was a senator and vice president. He wasn't even entitled to have classified documents. So that was more of a crime than anything Trump did. If Trump even did anything, because they're charging him with obstruction. He didn't cooperate with turning him over. And they're charging him with the Espionage Act, which is a joke. Plus, the Supreme Court looks like has given him partial immunity as an executive. Kavanaugh and Gorsuch have both expressed concern that the presidency isn't going to mean anything. If anything they do in office, they can be charged when they're out of office criminally. You know what happens if you order a strike on a group of terrorists and you kill a few innocent Americans or reporters, like George Bush did? That mean you can charge them with murder, negligent homicide? It's going to force presidents not to make any decisions out of fear of being prosecuted. And under that criteria, Obama would be prosecuted. So would Hillary. So as much as I hate to say it, and would love to see those two prosecuted, we can't be having that. Really. So there is a lot of stuff going on the left. They're very upset. I think it's finally dawning on them that they're not going to have their way. And we are a democracy. You can't lawfare your way out of it. I mean, Stormy Daniels was testifying ridiculous nonsense. That she was so scared she almost passed out. Trump forced himself on her. Then she has a video on Bill Maher saying none of that happened. So she's not a credible witness. She's actually quite crazy from stuff she's been saying. I think Bill Maher said it best. You almost blacked out because you were going to get raped. He said, you're a porn star. And, he said he wasn't condoning rape. What he's saying is that she shows up for work, doesn't choose who she's having sex with. They just snap their fingers and say, okay, we're losing the light. Hurry up. Start effing. Okay. So she's not afraid, And this is just video of her saying that nothing like that happened with Trump. So she's being coerced by DA Bragg, who also just got caught too. This might actually be a mistrial, whether the judge wants to or not, because he hates Trump. But the reason why I say that is the prosecutor's office had recordings and text records between Trump and Cohen that exonerated Trump, and they deleted them. That just came out this week. They got caught doing that. I think it's going to force a mistrial, because now there's nothing to present to the jury. The defense team wasn't given that information, I guess is what I'm saying. So they cheated. Surprise, surprise, surprise. So I think this one's going to go away pretty quickly. There's really, according to all the legal experts, there's really no crime here to begin with. The actual payoff to Stormy, statute of limitations expired. And the Trump defense team did an excellent job of this week of presenting Trump as somebody protecting his brand, and even got Stormy Daniels to admit that part of the payoff reasoning was that Trump had a successful brand that he didn't want tarnished. Plus he was married and whatever else. So they didn't want the brand name to get hurt. And you have to remember, this was before Trump got elected. And she said she tried to squeeze money out of him because she didn't think he was going to be elected. So she wanted to get a check while she could get one, okay? You got to remember that. So that's what happened with that. So that was testified this week. Let's see how the frog eggs are doing today. Oh, they're still there. I see a couple little frogs floating around. I guess they're keeping an eye on the egg sacs. We do have some rather large frog egg batches, like right there. That light colored pod and one over there. They're all over the place. There was hundreds of frogs in here spawning about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So and that was nice this winter when this was all frozen, walking out to that bird box. I just wanted to see what it looked like, but can't walk on water now. Only one person can do that. So, phew. Pollen. There's a lot of pollen out here today. Now, I'm not bothered with hay fever, because if I was, I'd be going mental today. Whoops, sorry about that. So, I don't know how long it's going to take for pollywogs to pop out and have 1,000 million frogs running around here. I guess we'll find out. Walk up here. Always nice here. Now, Mount Appetite Park in Auburn that I went to Friday was nice and long. It was good for a long walk. But I gotta tell you, this is nicer visually. The other place did have a nice rock quarry in it. It did. But looks like we got something nesting there. I don't know what that is. Something's up there though. Got their own little apartment way up there. Go up this way. So I hope you're enjoying the walk. It is a nice place. All right. It's getting green. That's what I was waiting for. I was glad to see the snow melt, but everything brown with no leaves. I don't like that. A couple, 3 weeks from now, actually a couple weeks from now, the leaves will be a lot bigger. It'll be really nice. Go down this way. So all kinds of fun things happened in Augusta this week. Oh, I hear something in the woods. What is it? Probably a squirrel or a chipmunk. So anyway, in Augusta this week, the legislature was in session for the veto session. This is really funny. You're going to get a kick out of this. The Democrats are infighting right now. They're infighting. It's official. No longer a rumor. All right, thought I heard something. So anyway, no longer a rumor. The Democrats are infighting in Augusta. Friday, if you didn't know, was veto day. There was 8 bills, 8 crazy left bills that Janet Mills vetoed. And she vetoed them because they are too crazy left even for her, who she is a progressive. And she doesn't want those passed. Now in Maine has a majority of Democrats in the legislature. And they lead the Senate by about 7 seats. So these vetoes were going to the Senate and also the House. Now in the House, the Democrats have a big majority. So Janet Mills didn't want to take a chance of any of these bills that Democrats passed to pass. You following me? So several Democrats, many of them, refused to show up for the veto vote to ensure that there would be enough Republican and opposition Democrat votes for the veto to be sustained, and the laws will die into dust. Now, the Senate Majority Leader, Troy Jackson, who was a former Republican turncoat who went independent for a while, then he joined the Democrats. He's in his last term as Majority Speaker, because there's term limits on that, thankfully. And he is a crooked, conniving, corrupt son of a bitch. No shocker. And he and other leadership from the House headed over to the Blaine mansion with paperwork and papers. They went over a few times. Janet Mills got sick of it, and she actually ordered the doors to be locked. So the Blaine house got locked up, and she refused to talk with them. She wouldn't answer the phone, and that's all official. That really happened. So the 8 bills that were vetoed, during the veto session, the crazy liberals, the crazy left, they tried to cheat the best they could and get those passed into law. And I think Janet Mills knew that was going to happen, so a bunch of Democrats didn't show up for work. And they actually had one vote earlier in the day, and something didn't pass. But what happened was there was a failure in the call of the vote, in the counting of it, which they also attribute that to shenanigans being played, unverified, that they intentionally screwed the vote. And So they had another vote. Now, when they had the next vote, more Democrats had left. So I think the vote was too close, and I think the Democratic Party in Maine told these Democrats we can't have these pass into law, even though Democrats passed them. Two of them were gun bills. One of them was the machine gun law I was talking about, which is now officially dead after her veto and failure to be voted for. It was voted against. The other one was the kind of a vague one I didn't discuss too much. I did mention a couple times. I forget the LD number for it, but basically what it was when the police would seize old firearms or firearms at crime scenes. Right now, the only ones destroyed are the ones that are used in a murder. And so we got a chipmunk underneath this bridge. Where are you? Come out. He's under there. I saw him. He went underneath. He tried to come out and went back under. Oh, there he goes. See him? Did you see that? Come out, wherever you are. Oh, I think he snuck out over here on this side because I heard some leaves rustling. Yep. Well, that was fun. Let's play Find the Chipmunk. So anyway, they think they were playing some shenanigans. The Democrats, by trying to say we miscounted, we need to count again. I think they thought they were going to get more votes a second time. Because you know what they do. They'll text each other and, you know, they're one cohesive unit, the Democrats. So Janet Mills, who is a progressive, okay, she supported that trans nonsense and all that. And she also supported the 72-hour waiting period for firearm purchases, which is another one that's going to come back and bite them in November. I'm already seeing a lot of Democrats unhappy about it. A couple of businesses said they're moving to New Hampshire. First one that did that was Kittery Trading Post. They do about $11 million in merchandise a year, which that's tax revenue for the state, jobs. They've already announced that if this loses with litigation, they're leaving Maine. They're going to go to New Hampshire. And you have to understand the geography. From where I am right here in the second most populated area, New Hampshire is only 80 miles to the border. It's not a far move. And they have reciprocal constitutional carry laws and no waiting period. So if you owned a business, you'd be crazy not to do anything there. So I'm going to go up this way and just walk around in a circle and come back just to conclude the woods walk, because I'm going to do the rest of my walk on the city. But anyway, what I wanted to do was mention, I originally had the idea of, okay, well, if you don't want to wait 3 days for your firearm, just order a firearm online and have it sent to an FFL in New Hampshire and go pick it up. That's not going to work because I found out that FFLs have to honor the state's rules and laws for the person that resides there when you show your ID. So, unless you have a residency in New Hampshire, which you may be able to just get a P.O. box, if it means that much to you, it seems like a big hassle. It'd be easier just to wait 3 days, but the other loophole problem I have. So anyway, back to the Augusta shenanigans. I'll get that over with. I don't want to get sidetracked. They wanted to raise taxes in Maine on income tax by giving a tax break now, so it sounds good in the media, and then later on it ends up jumping up to 1.45% higher than what it is now. And Maine is already in the top 10 in the country percentage-wise for income tax. So they are pushing the envelope, and voters are only going to take so much of that in Maine. Taxes are already high here for some people, especially if you own a business. And I just knocked a tick off me already. So I think I'm going to wrap up my walk through here and start heading out. I was going to go around here, but I'm not wearing my long socks and stuff today. And the ticks look like they're moving slow. But I did just knock a tick off me, because I just went walking through grass. Now, if you stay on a trail like this, you should be okay, but I veered off into bladed grass, and they hide underneath the leaves and the blades of grass, waiting for somebody like me to walk by so they could leech onto them. There's another one I just knocked off. So the ticks are going crazy today. So I think that's my cue to exit. And then what I'll do is I'll pull my pant legs up once I get out of here, so I could take a quick look. When I get home, I'll take a nice shower. They usually don't root on you right away. The one I got last year happened because I went and I was tired because I didn't get much sleep the night before we went shooting, and I picked one up at the range. I had actually taken two off me, and there was one I didn't notice. And I decided to take a nap. So obviously I went and found a spot on my shoulder blade. So they usually like the behind your knees, your groin area, or your shoulder blades, typically. So I'm going to head down this way. But back to the Augusta shenanigans. Another one of the things that got vetoed, besides the tax thing, was the firearm bill of destroying firearms at crime scenes. Now, for those of you that don't know, typically what happens is the police seize those, and then they end up auctioning those stuff like that off. It raises revenue for different things. So the Democrats were just like, oh, they're firearms, they all should be destroyed. We need a gun bill for our Marxist voters. We need to pass stuff. So that was one of the ones that didn't make it. Checking myself again for ticks. Thankfully, they are slow moving. They are. I am wearing leggings, but I'm not wearing my long socks because it's 59 degrees today. It's not exactly summer, but the ticks are awake. Didn't see any ticks yesterday, day before yesterday in Auburn. So, but this place where we just passed, they put bird houses out there, and birds eat ticks. They love to eat ticks. So they don't cut the grass out there. They want the ticks, and they want the poison ivy growth. And deer do come through here. So anyway, isn't this lovely? So if you want some advice on walking in the woods and having tick protection, and they're also warm in the summer, in the winter time, But you can wear leggings. I wear military camouflage ones. They're kind of like long johns, but they fit you tighter. And they're made for wearing under your clothes, so you could still wear your jeans without them being too tight. And they're actually pretty warm. So that's what I'm wearing right now. Now, if you get one that goes up underneath it, well, then you're in trouble. Which is why I didn't think I would need to today, but I'm not wearing my knee-high tube socks, which are actually weightlifting socks. But I like wearing the white ones so you can see the ticks on you. So I'm pretty sure I don't have any ticks on me. I'm going to take a quick peek. And like I said, they're very slow moving. And you would usually see them crawling up on you underneath here. See that? So this is the camo I wear. I wear these all winter long, shooting outdoors. Definitely a must-have. I've lost weight, so these fit looser. But they're warm, and they also breathe well, so you don't sweat too much, which is what I like. Anyway, you people that go hunting, things like that, you're already familiar with those. Stanton Bird Club. What is this? They're stuck together. Let's see what these envelopes are. Oh, that's a thank you thing. Thank you for your generous support. If you want to donate money to the bird sanctuary. This place is volunteer run, and they also have things like maps you can get. And some kind of bug beetle just landed on me. So the bugs are awake. I'm pretty sure I am tickless now. They're pretty easy to see. You can have like small ones, but there's also the two that I knocked off me were bigger ones, and they're slow. They don't really walk fast. So you watch movies, it looks like they hop out and attack you, these giant ticks. But so I think I'm safe. This is that spot we used to come to right here. A couple of trees fell on it, which is unfortunate. It's usually pretty long. It goes way out back here. And this freezes early, so you can come here and play ice hockey. It's usually pretty good if it's cold early overnight. As soon as it gets around 32 or less overnight, this will freeze. And it's not very deep, so it freezes solid. And it goes way back there, quite a ways. So you can skate along here, pass the puck around. But now we get this big tree in the way here. So, I'm gonna walk along here, come out of the woods. Yeah, and you get used to the tick stuff. You know, some people that aren't used to it, they'll be feeling like a little itching and tingles and stuff all over, freaking out, and it doesn't work that way. They're not that fast. What you got to do is take a look on your lower half while you're walking, and you will see them on you. When we went shooting that day, I had taken a couple of them off me, but like I said, instead of taking a shower when I got home like I usually do, because they don't root right away. They have to find a good spot they're happy with. So, but they are friggin' nasty. So now I'm just going to finish my walk. You know, we got all kinds of stuff that went on in Augusta. They always try to cheat. It's absolutely mind-boggling. Even the 72-hour waiting period, that only passed because there was a couple of Democrats who didn't want to vote for it that normally would have. And they ditched out and didn't vote, which caused it to pass by a couple of votes. They went into hiding on purpose because they were too much of a coward to tell their constituents from a red county that they're in that they weren't going to vote for it. So hopefully those voters will hold them accountable and this will come back on them. There's a lot of people that aren't happy with it. And all that changed was the mass shooting we had. And that mass shooting, nothing that they did pass had anything to do with the mass shooting we had. It's not going to stop it. And the guy that did it was just Looney Tunes. Had all kinds of firearms already. So anyway, the bill to destroy firearms instead of auctioning them, that was vetoed by the governor because I did not give her enough credit. I just thought she was extremely far left, was going to rubber stamp all of this stuff, and she vetoed 8 bills. 8. All stuff that Democrats wanted in Maine. Some of it had to do with immigration. So I think she's trying to save the party from itself this November. So if anything that I garnered from that by her behavior, to me, that tells me she knows that they're in trouble with the polls, regardless of what the media says. They have their internal polling. And they're losing Democrat support because of the craziness, especially the stuff happening nationally. So we got to give it some patience, guys. Keep yelling about it, screaming about it, raising hell online, raising hell at work. You know, don't do anything to get fired over, I mean, but it's working, okay? It's working. Perfect example, something the media is not talking about. I only read a couple of media articles about it, but Target, the store Target. Now we have Pride Month coming up in June, or as I call it, Groomer Awareness Month. So Target got so much guff last year from their marketing this Pride stuff to children that they have announced that they are virtually going to lift just about all of their Pride stuff towards children. We'll see. I'll believe it when I see it. You know, they can go ahead and market all the Pride stuff they want to for adults. I really don't care. Some adult wants to go buy a gay rainbow shower cap to have fun in the shower. Hey, I don't care, okay? Leave the damn kids alone. Just leave the fucking kids alone. Excuse my French, but these people really bother me. And the biggest problem, as I've always said, meaning these people, I'm not talking about gays, I'm talking about the worst enemy of this country and democracy, the white liberal female. The virtue signaling white liberal female is a dangerous thing. All right, so we're gonna walk over this way. We got these little pollinating little flower things falling out of the tree, out of the maples. Did not take long to pick up any ticks, did it, in that area over there? So we're gonna mosey on. We'll do my walk. I'm not going to do the full College Street walk. I'm going to take a shortcut down Central Avenue, combine it with what I just did in the woods. It'll come out to around 5 miles somewhere. Plus, I actually like walking down Central Avenue more than College Street. So anyway, they tried to play those shenanigans in Augusta, and it was really funny because one of the Republicans went out on the lawn and actually videotaped them going back and forth to the Blaine house until the Blaine house locked the doors and wouldn't let them in, and they didn't know what to do. They didn't know if they should just call it a day, and which is what they ended up doing. They ended up having votes anyway, but the votes to sustain the vetoes all passed. So nothing new went into law. One of those was that stupid machine gun law. It's not what it was called, but that's what it is. They based it on existing machine gun law in Maine, and they worded it in such a way that anything that shot multiple projectiles with one trigger pull would be classified as a machine gun. Well, what does a shotgun shell do? You pull the trigger, it fires, and you have multiple projectiles, pellets. So the national machine gun law expressly states a rifle or carbine. The main one, written in the 70s, states multiple projectiles on one trigger pull. And they tried to use that for this law. They didn't want people modifying their own triggers either, which didn't go over well with hunters. Because the smoother the trigger pull, the more accurate you are, which actually makes it safer, so you don't miss what you're shooting at 100 yards. So a lot of Democrats here go hunting and own firearms, and they slick up their own triggers, and that would have been illegal. Very stupid law. It's the gun lobby that came up with those. Bloomberg. So I think a lot of Democrats were surprised that a gun store would pull up roots and move out of the state. That's what they're going to do. That hurts gun owners in Maine. That hurts Democrats. That whole area has so many people going to Kittery Trading Post to buy hunting equipment. course, you still have Cabela's Bass Pro. Don't know what they're going to do. Probably nothing. But I sent the information that, and this is my senator that always contacts me after I contact her. She always writes back. I sent her a copy of the link for the Kittery Trading Post leaving, specifically over her 72-hour waiting period bill that she got passed. So I didn't hear back from her on that one. And I didn't really need to say anything. What I told her was, you know, this stuff, the stuff you guys do has consequences. And I'm sure she didn't think of that. So that was LD 2224. That did get passed into law. So which had the 72-hour waiting period in it, as well as amending the yellow flag law to give law enforcement more leeway to detain somebody without a warrant, basically. If the officer feels that they're a threat with their firearm for violence, they can go ahead and detain somebody. Very dangerous, in my opinion, for them to have the authority to do that. You'll just have to hope they operate in good faith, which normally you would want to do that, but not these days. Nope. I don't want anybody in authority to having authority to do whatever the hell they want to without the Constitution. I just don't. Sorry, they burned that bridge, not me. It's not even a bridge they burned. I don't think I said that right. But you know what I'm saying. They are no longer trustworthy. So with that, though, they are, you know, they're pushing it, and they keep pushing whatever they can push through. It's not the last gun bill they're going to try to pass. That's the point I'm making. They make it sound like, okay, well, we just want to do this. Then they'll sit around and they'll come up with something else. But basically what happened is Michael Bloomberg bought a 72-hour waiting period with $110 million because he's a multi-billionaire and he's got the money. My senator denies that, but the gun lobby was very active in this session. They leached right on to the mass shooting. They latched right onto it. Here is an opportunity, a chink in the armor. Anyways, just interesting to watch this stuff. I didn't care much about it when I was younger. I was like, well, what difference do I make? Well, it turns out that people do make a difference. I learned that during the lockdown we had. We did a lot of protesting. And when Janet Mills went through Lewiston during that parade, that first one they had in 2021 for the centennial, celebrate Maine's, it's an annual thing they do every year when Lewiston became a city. So every year they have a parade, and she was on a boat going down. She got followed on the bridge, heckled, yelled at, called Hitler, called an authoritarian, forcing people to vaccinate, yada, yada, yada. And I don't think she expected that. She looked very uncomfortable. She had security with her. That's the thing with these people, you know, they're in a bubble. They watch bubble TV too. The media tells them everything is great. I'm watching Joe Biden on CNN this week. She went through a whole list of everything that's wrong with his administration. And he didn't believe her. He looked like it was the first time he ever heard those numbers. Then he tried to say inflation was at 9% when he was sworn in. It wasn't. It was 1.7%. 1.7%. Inflation went up because of his executive orders he signed, specifically having to do with energy policies, climate change, and all that. That's what shoots up inflation, and also all the spending they did on Ukraine. Now they're increasing inflation some more by doing student debt giveaways to buy votes. These people are incorrigible, insufferable sons of bitches. Arrogant, hypocritical. They don't take the blame for anything, but then they sit in front of a camera and say, I'll own my own crap. I will. When he ran, that's what he said. If I make a mistake, I will own it. All lies and BS. That old expression is true, and we got used to that with Trump. You know, he'd say something and he meant what he said. A lot of times he didn't say it eloquently, but you knew what you were getting. And he owned it when he made a mistake. He hasn't denounced the vaccines, but he has stopped promoting them, and he has acknowledged that some people have been injured by them. So he hasn't been touting that a lot lately. But that was a big accomplishment that he got done, granted, in an emergency. But it turns out the emergency wasn't the emergency that everybody thought it was going to be. He was lied to and taken advantage too. So, I mean, he's not a doctor. He's not even a politician. You know, he comes in and you get this big national emergency, and you have your advisors that have been there forever, Fauci and Birx, that blonde-headed woman there. And, you know, he can't just ignore them. Can you imagine we have this pandemic coming? A lot of people really didn't know what it was or how bad it was. And then Trump goes on there, well, the two people we have that I should trust for this, I'm just not going to listen to them. How do you think that would have went over? So that was a tough spot to be in. So I don't really blame him for a lot of that stuff. Oh, anyway. I'm going to walk all the way up to the end of this road, hang a left by the college, which is way up there. I don't want to 3.88 miles, basically 3.9, almost 4 miles now. So it'll be about a 6-mile walk today. I guess that's okay. I didn't walk yesterday. Just had to adjust my pants. My zipper came down because of my carry. Almost had a surprise popping out of my pants, but it wasn't what you think it is. It was the barrel of my carry holster. Is that a carry, or are you happy to see me? Roof, roof. That's not bad. 4 miles, hour and 20. I usually get 5 miles in about an hour 25, hour 30. So I'm not too far off the pace. I didn't do a lot of stopping and looking at things. Walking through the woods, because that's usually what adds to my time. Actually, since I just hit 4 miles, I'm going to take a left over here. Instead of going the 6 mile route, I'm going to do the 5.25. I think that'll be good for today. And like I said, you know, I'm going to be 56 in July. And I got to make sure I don't overdo it. 35 to 40 miles a week has been good. These shoes I'm wearing have been wonderful. My hiking boots are a little rougher on the heel as far as support goes. But with these Skechers Sports, that's what they're called. They were very tough to break in, not fit-wise, but the soles were very stiff. I had to walk quite a few miles in them before they softened up, but they did, and my feet molded right to the inside perfectly. Really good arch support in these. Now the last Skechers I had were also good. I think they were the SRX ones. Something like that. Sport. They're the ones they discontinued before these. Unfortunately, those did not last as long as my Reeboks. They came apart where the sole attaches. The material gave out. These are still doing well. But I definitely don't want to overdo it. Because when you overdo it and you make things sore, you have to take a week or two off from walking to let it heal. You need to stretch things out. So it's very you know, when you're younger, you don't have those issues. But I'm pretty sure I found my happy spot with regard to how much I should walk every week. I have certain routes planned out. Much tougher to walk in the woods physically. There's more stepping over things, stepping up onto things, jumping down on things. This battery is about ready to fluff out here. I'll swap those over when it does. Only got about a mile left to walk anyways.
I'll go home and strip, throw what I wore in the wash, take a shower, and once everything goes through the dryer, anything that resembles a tick is dead. The dryer on hot will kill them. And it's not just ticks, you can pick up other parasites too, lice, whatever. I mean, you're out walking in the woods, you know? Seen a couple of ticks in our backyard a couple of times. Just had some grass that grew a little longer between mowings, and just walking in the grass, and you get ticks on your shoes. You know, they hang out underneath the blades waiting for deer or something to go by. And all they do is they suck on your blood and gorge themselves while they have eggs inside them. They don't lay any eggs in you or anything like that, but there we go. Changed out the battery. So anyway, what I was saying is you get these ticks on you, and they find a place to suck your blood, and they engorge themselves. They get huge. And then their job is to just fall off and die. And they have those eggs in there that feed on that blood. And then they make a bunch of baby ticks. Problem is sometimes they have Lyme disease, and there's other diseases you can get. And they got one called the red target. When you get bit by a tick and then you see like a red center, it's called a bullseye. And then a few inches out, you'll have a circle around it. So you'll have a red ring with a red dot in the middle. That means you got an infection. And a lot of times you'll get some sore joints and things like that, and then you'll feel okay. And then 2 to 3 months later, you get Lyme disease symptoms, because it takes a while for your neurological problems to show up. There's also one that affects the heart. So they're all treatable, and it's not permanent, but you do need antibiotics, things like that. So anyways, let people mow their lawns. I mowed ours before we had that rain stuff. So anyway, what was I talking about with Trump in New Jersey? So Trump was in Wildwood, New Jersey, and they set a record for a political rally in the state, the whole history of New Jersey. More people went to that Trump rally this past weekend, yesterday. They were estimating 80,000 people were there. They got an amusement park there, and it was packed. So he had a huge crowd. I think a lot of Democrats are upset with that. They just figured that nobody would care about him at this point. Every other word out of their mouth on the news is they make sure they know Everybody knows how many indictments are against him. He's a criminal, he's this, and yeah, well, he's also innocent until proven guilty in this country. And at this point, I don't even care if they find him guilty. We know what this is. And I will not abide that. I just won't. That man could have sat on a gold toilet seat, being a fat, rich son of a bitch and just not caring, playing their game. And he put his ass on the line for all of us. And I will respect that until the freaking day he's dead or I'm dead. Those purple flowers there are azaleas. Now that's really funny because this is what happens on the internet, and this is why I hate the internet. I really hate the internet. It's the most annoying thing ever. Social media, I should say. I only go on there to promote politics. But these two friggin' guys were having an argument about azaleas, okay? This is an azalea right here. All right, these purple flowers. That's a rhododendron bush. Now, if you are down south, everybody calls them azaleas. If you're up north here, they call them a rhododendron. They're the same plant. There's several species of them. They're all over the place here. We've walked by many of them. There's one right up ahead here. It's a rhododendron bush, AKA an azalea. They're a member of the same plant species. And these two fools were on the internet arguing about that. They didn't realize they were in the same species. They're arguing they're two different plants. This one's got this, that one's, it's a freaking rhododendron bush. They all look like that, or like that. Those ain't open yet. Then you have other ones that are kind of white colored, some that are pink, purple, but they're all rhododendrons. Stuff like that just cracks me up. I mean, watching these two on Facebook fighting with each other about that was just ridiculous. The other thing that's popular on Facebook is videos on how people make things. Marvels of production or industry. And it's always somebody that's Asian, Chinese, let's just say it. Someone from China, working in China. They still have all of these factories where they make all these clever things out of how they make train wheels, things like that out of steel, molten steel. And they have these, everybody's seen these videos. Well, you have 3 or 4 people timed out doing what they do perfectly with each other. And that's all they do all day. And they're good at it. So while everybody's marveling at these videos, I'm reminding them that we don't do that in this country anymore. These people that know how to do that stuff, they're all old, retired, dead. It's the same thing that happened in England. So the people that make the tools have passed away, and that leaves China doing what they're doing now, which is owning us. We're not the #1 country in the world anymore. Doesn't feel like it, doesn't look like it. We look like we're going bankrupt, broke. We're going to have a serious recession or depression coming. Inflation right now went up. Again, I'll go up some more. And the other thing that happened is This is where we walked out of the woods earlier, on the left. And the other thing is the job numbers were pitifully terrible this past month, way below expectations. And to watch Joe Biden in that interview trying to tell people that people are making more now so they can afford the prices that have gone up absolutely infuriated me, and everybody else too. He's a senile, demented old man, doesn't know what's going on. He just knows what they tell him. They tell him to say this stuff. And at this point, Jill Biden is making Joe Biden look like a fool by allowing this to continue. I still think the Democrats ought to just bite the bullet, pull Biden off the ticket. They got till the end of this month to do that, in case you didn't know. That's the official end of the primary season. The DNC would be able to do that if they wanted to. But they would only be able to do that if Joe Biden agreed to it and wanted to resign, which he should. And his wife, who's obviously not going to do that, they're just going to keep using him. But don't be ultra shocked if he does resign, because clearly at this point they're not winning. And that was the other part of the news cycle I saw yesterday, was these people on CNN saying that this lawfare stuff isn't working against Trump. It's not working. And they're going to need to think of something else to save Joe Biden, this person said. So he's losing. He's losing badly. It's not stopping the media companies from having fake polling, though, saying that he's ahead of Trump. If the election was going to happen right now, Trump would win in one of the biggest landslides we've ever seen. I'm absolutely sure of that. I thought it was a lot closer a couple weeks ago, but not now. They're going to do a lot of cheating, but they're not going to be able to do enough cheating. And Georgia just signed into law, the governor just signed it, protecting their elections from unsolicited mail-in ballots and drop boxes. So signatures will have to be verified on all ballots. And what they should do nationally is have paper ballots. Now, the other thing Georgia did, and this is a big one, okay, this is important. It is now state law in Georgia that on the night of the election, the total results of the mail-in absentee ballots have to be announced on the night of the election. No more counting them throughout the night, then you stop counting, throw in a whole bunch of fake ballots to fudge the numbers. That's not going to be allowed anymore in Georgia. That is official. That is now law. Okay? So, election night, the amount of absentee ballots will be announced from Georgia, because that's the state law now. So some good changes have been made. You're still going to have problem states like Wisconsin, Michigan, But the good news is Republicans are picking up in Michigan quite a bit. And Trump only lost Michigan by like 10,000 votes. They have a Republican legislature, part of it. It's not a blue state. It's kind of a purple state at the moment. But these Democrats, when they're given power, they always find a way to screw themselves like they're doing in Maine right now. I think we're going to have some surprises this November in Maine too. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to replace the governor for another 5 years, I think. Four years. Governor in Maine is elected for 6 years. And they just had an election last year or the year before, I forget which. I think it was 2022. So she's still got 4 years left. And actually, yeah, I think that's right. I think it's 6 years. So she'll be, when she's all done, she can only run for 2 terms. She will have been there for 12 years. That's what Paul LePage did too. Now the other thing is this Shenna Bellows, who tried to keep Trump off the ballot. She's going to be eyeballing running for governor in 4 years, which is why she did this with Trump. She thought politically this would be good for her with Democrat voters, which it probably was with the radical ones, the same ones supporting terrorism by protesting in favor of Hamas right now. So we'll see what happens with that. And but I'm pretty sure she's the one that's going to be running for governor for the Democrats. That's what they do, you know. They breed their own like that, and then they run them out there. That's what they did against Susan Collins, with the one that used to be Secretary of State before Shenna Bellows, and she didn't win, which is actually good because Susan Collins' vote was the one that spared Trump from being impeached and removed from office. And if this Democrat had won from Maine, he would have been removed from office, unable to ever run again. That's how big that election was. And that's why I say all these elections matter. And yeah, Susan Collins, she's a rhino, Republican in name only. She's part of the establishment we need to get rid of. But when it comes down to it, am I going to vote for her or a Democrat? Obviously, I'm going to vote for Susan Collins. Even though I don't want to. I don't ever want to vote for her again. She's horrible. She's terrible. She's not a real Republican. We need to get rid of her. She's done things like she wants to get more immigrants distributed up in northern Maine and red territory. It's like, are you out of your effing mind? Susan Collins right now is trying to get more federal money for immigration in Maine. How she says it is to take the tax burden off of Maine residents. We should have some federal blah, blah. Yeah, well, that's contributing to inflation and the worst problem. Everything this White House has done has hurt us. Everything. Everything. The open border is now affecting every state in the country. It really ticks me off, man. These people need to lose, and they need to lose badly, in a very big way. Anyways, be finishing up the walk shortly. Pretty decent walk today. I enjoyed it. Even spooked a duck. I want to say hi to V-Man and his lady for watching my walking videos. Really appreciate that. Glad you like them. So, I'll do another I just hit 5.5 miles. Just picking up this tire weight. I've been seeing a lot of these tire weights on the side of the road. I don't know if it's because the rims rusted from winter and they fall off, but you can melt these down because it's lead. I don't know if it doesn't feel like it's pure lead. It feels hard, so I don't know how good it would be for making lead balls for black powder. So I'll just chuck that down there. But the best lead for lead balls is lead that's been swaged, which means there's impurities have been removed and it's weight balanced when you make it into a bullet. They use swaged bullets for ammunition, so you don't have more weight on one side than the other because of inconsistencies. Pretty important process. There's a chemical process they use to do that. A lot of videos of that online. If you're ever bored, you want to learn how to swage lead for ammunition yourself. Having an accurate bullet is an art form. Along with rifling and things like that. Doesn't do any good when you have something spinning a gazillion miles an hour out of a rifle barrel and one side of the bullet's heavier than the other. What do you think happens? Exactly. If the whole box is inconsistent like that, the weight shift is all different, so you don't get good groupings. It's bad ammo, which might actually be the problem with a lot of the cheap ammo that doesn't group well. The extra time and money and labor and effort swaging the lead. They might just be using recycled lead. They just melt it and make bullets and don't really care about impurities in it. So, cheap ammo is cheap ammo. All right. Well, some people out here doing some mowing. Good day for it, I guess. Oh, something else I wanted to mention. I started to on my walk. I'll wait until I pass this. Well, I already did mention it on my intro. So anyway, that's going to wrap up this walk. Thank you for walking with me. Really appreciate people watching the videos. Hope you have a beautiful day today. It is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to everybody. And stay safe and be happy, be well, take care of yourself and other ones that you love. And we will walk again soon, friends. Bye-bye now. We got the spring leaves coming out. Should be a good summer. Ciao for now.